there's a lot of wastefulness going on with the Minnesota Vikings. And I'm going to hit you with the truth today. You may not be ready to hear it. Some of you may not be ready to hear it. Some of you are ready to hear it. But we're going to talk about the truth today with the Minnesota Vikings, man. And we got to do it. We just got to do it. So buckle in, strap in, and get ready for the UP.
Powered by Riverside FM.
UP Nation, I hate to say this, man. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I never thought that I would be at this point so early in the career of Kevin O'Connell, but I don't know how to manage the emotions of this thing. I've always been a supporter of Kevin O'Connell, but I just don't know how to manage the things in my mind that I'm seeing from the mismanagement and the coaching of this team. Now, let me say this, and I'm going to stand firm on this. When you look at a guy like JJ McCarthy, man, when you look at a guy like JJ McCarthy, I think, you have, it's kind of divided right now. You have people that are pro JJ McCarthy, and then you have people that are, I don't want to call them anti JJ McCarthy, but I will call the segment of the fan base that's really not on board with JJ McCarthy impatient fans, because I think common sense has to tell you that you've got to give JJ McCarthy a little bit more time before you make an assessment on where JJ McCarthy is. Like, you can't just give him 4 games, UP Nation. Like, you can't just give him, think about that. Think about wherever you work in your employer. If they just gave you 4 days on the job, and then they made a decision on whether or not they wanted you in the company or not, and they got rid of you after 4 days of just learning how everything operates in your new job. Like that's where some people are with JJ McCarthy. You can't say that you haven't been happy with some of the things that you've seen from a leadership standpoint, playing standpoint from JJ McCarthy. Has it always been peppermint and roses? Absolutely not. There's been some things that he has to improve on, but don't we have to give him time? Like, is everything that you see from JJ McCarthy that bad where you are off the boat, off the bandwagon, whatever you want to call it, with JJ McCarthy already? Like, so for me, I am going to exclude JJ McCarthy in terms of blame and where this thing is going, only because he is a rookie. He is essentially a rookie quarterback that's never played before. He's getting acclimated to the NFL. So I'm going to give, and I have no hesitation with this, I'm going to give JJ a pass for the rest of the year. Man, that's just where I am. I'm going to live with his mistakes. I'm going to live with his decision making. I'm going to allow him to develop. That's just where I am with JJ McCarthy. Let me give you some of the truth about what I think is going on with Kevin O'Connell, man. You have to be able to ask yourself, UP Nation, why does Kevin O'Connell not adjust? Why does Kevin O'Connell come with the same game plan, the same things every game? Again, a lack of a running game against the Ravens with all that you invested in enhancing the running game, the offensive line, bringing in the running back. You have to stop being so emotional and ask yourself why. What is going on behind the scenes? It's not like the Minnesota Vikings are behind in all these games where they can't run. I think the formula is once you get behind, you've got to pass more. That's not what's happening with the Minnesota Vikings. So you have to ask yourself, if you're a Minnesota Viking fans, a KOC supporter, Purple Nation, Skull Nation, Purple Gang, UP Nation, you've got to ask yourself, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? See, I'm going to hit this from a different perspective. See, I think KOC has been traumatized. You hear the quotes all the time where KOC comes out and says, organizations fail quarterbacks more than quarterbacks fail organizations. Kevin O'Connell is a guy, former quarterback in the NFL, that honestly, if you were to sit down with him for an interview and not have microphones around and cameras around where things could get out, Kevin O'Connell will probably tell you that he didn't get a great shot at being a quarterback in the NFL. For a guy that puts himself on a pedestal as being innovative and smart, his one failure when it comes to the NFL was at the quarterback position. He came out of college pretty highly touted in terms of being athletic, being able to throw the ball, but it never panned out. He never got an opportunity to be a franchise guy. He never got an opportunity to be a starting guy in the NFL. He looks at that time in his life as a failure. And those experiences, something happened there to traumatize the brain of Kevin O'Connell. So now he goes in heavy when it comes to these quarterbacks. And then to go out and make this statement about organizations fails quarterback, you know that there are some underlining things when it comes to the way he thinks about that position. There is a lot of emotion in that position when it comes to Kevin O'Connell. You saw it with every quarterback he's had, from Kirk Cousins to the astronaut to now JJ McCarthy. There is a lot of emotion when it comes to that. The fact when you see a Sam Darnold, remember the shot? Think back, UP Nation. Remember the shot where they showed Sam Darnold after the big Packers win? When he came into the locker room, everybody was dousing him with water. They picked Sam Darnold up on their shoulders, still dousing him with water. And did you see KOC in the background? Did you see standing by the wall, just staring at what was going on? That spurred up a lot of emotion. I think Kevin O'Connell saw himself in that moment. And there was a lot of wishful thinking in that moment towards Sam Darnold, with KOC eternally saying, man, I wish I would have had that opportunity. See, there's a lot of trauma in that, a lot of emotion in that for KOC. KOC is always going to be on the side of the fence where he's going to be pass happy because he didn't feel like he got that opportunity. So his play calling is going to be that. His philosophy is going to be that. What other reason could there be, UP Nation, other than quarterback trauma? What other reason could there be for not enhancing the running game? You sold us on the offensive line, albeit right now you're missing Kelly, but your offensive line is as healthy as it's been all year, and it's intact. You've got Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. You sold that to us, that you were going to enhance the running game. 13 carries yesterday for our running backs, and we weren't behind the whole game. 13 carries. And it wasn't just this game, but you've seen it week to week to week to week to week. Like, as a fan, you have to ask yourself, what the hell is going on? It's got to be trauma. It's got to be trauma. It's got to be trauma. There is no philosophical reason to run the football like Kevin O'Connell has run the football there this year. There's no reason. There's no reason. And people that have media credentials, they're not pushing him on this. Like, he's allowed to skate on this subject all season long. See, us content creators, we don't have the credentials, so we have no fear of losing our credentials. But these journalists and these reporters, they don't ask the hard question. Like, if I was there every day, I would be like, why aren't we running the ball? What's going on with our running game? You got the offensive line, you got the running backs, KOC, what the hell is going on? No one pushes him on this subject, so he's just allowed to skate. I am getting to the point where I don't know, and this is a hot take. I don't know if we will ever be able to truly evaluate who and what JJ McCarthy is under KOC. And it happens. It happens every day in the NFL. You look at a guy like Sam Darnold, who spent the majority of his time with the Jets. Obviously, you couldn't really make an evaluation on Sam Darnold in that organization, with that coaching and that front office. Every quarterback that's come through there has failed. You couldn't make an assessment on Sam Darnold, and now things are starting to pan out for Sam Darnold, and I know that KOC gets a lot of credit for turning him around. Maybe it was just moving from a different organization to a more competent organization. Maybe that's it. You look at Baker Mayfield, same thing with the Cleveland Browns. Like, could you really assess Baker Mayfield and who he was under Kevin Stefanski and all the quarterback turmoil that's going on there? Now he's out of there at a more competent organization, and he's starting to flourish. So I am under the umbrella of, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to judge JJ McCarthy fully under the Kevin O'Connell regime. Here's what I can tell you right now. If JJ McCarthy would have got drafted by the Denver Broncos and he was under Sean Payton's umbrella, innovative, knows how to play call. I mean, has any quarterback ever not looked good under Sean Payton? If JJ McCarthy would have been drafted by the Denver Broncos and been under Sean Payton, I guarantee you right now he would be in a better place to succeed with Sean Payton than he is with Kevin O'Connell. Sean Payton, hey man, the proof is in the pudding. Just a little bit more innovative, knows how to use his personnel. Bo Nix is not the quarterback or doesn't have the intangibles that JJ McCarthy has, but Bo Nix is under a better system. So that system takes an average quarterback like Bo Nix and props him up. Everything that the Denver Broncos does on the offensive side of the ball just makes sense. If you ever watched him play, it just makes sense. It's a perfect fit for Bo Nix. So I don't know. Kevin O'Connell has been so traumatized. You can call it stubborn if you want, but Kevin O'Connell has been so traumatized, UP Nation, that he's never going to change. It is important for him to get the demons of not making it as a starting quarterback out of his system. And that's the way he play calls. He wants it to look a certain way. It's got to be a certain way. Wins be damned. My system is the best system out there. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to force it to work no matter who the quarterback is. And I don't know if that's best for JJ McCarthy and his confidence and his overall physical health. Because I believe that there is more in there from JJ McCarthy. I think there are better ways to make JJ McCarthy look better in games that KOC is just not willing to tap into because of the trauma of not making it at quarterback. See, there is no other freaking explanation for what we see from week to week from Kevin O'Connell. There can't be any other explanation. I don't think he's an idiot, but I think when you go through something in life, it shapes the person who you are. And it's no different in coaching. It is important to that man to win games a certain way and to be pass heavy. He's got a demon that he's got to fight. And we're seeing it every Sunday the Minnesota Vikings play on offense. It's just, it's been a waste of a season. You build this, you invest heavily in this offensive line. We don't use them the way we should use them. We invest heavily in the running back room. We don't use them the way we should use them. It's just been a season of wastefulness on the Minnesota Vikings. And you think that this man, KOC, is not smart enough to figure it out? Of course he is. He doesn't want to figure it out. He wants to win his own way. Everybody is making a big deal about Justin Jefferson. Man, listen, if you've watched my past videos, y'all think I was tripping. If you've watched my last videos, I've told you that this Justin Jefferson thing, man, it's going to rear its ugly head with the Minnesota Vikings. Don't get fooled by the smiles and the grill, shows the grill in his mouth. Don't be fooled by the great teammate that Justin Jefferson is. Don't get content because he just signed a big contract. Don't be fooled that Justin Jefferson always says the right things. Man, Justin Jefferson is bona fide. Justin Jefferson has done great things for this organization. I love Justin Jefferson. He's the best player at the face of the Minnesota Vikings franchise. Justin Jefferson is a dog. I love Jets. But here's the thing, man. Jets is a human being. It's only so much. I don't care how nice of a guy you are, what type of leader you are. People can only take so much. People can only take so much. Justin Jefferson, I have told you in the past, has come out and said without any hesitation, with bass in his voice, that he wants to be the best. He wants to be the GOAT. You have heard from Chris Carter. Chris Carter has said Justin Jefferson is going to be the best wide receiver to ever put on the purple jersey. Randy Moss has come out and said Justin Jefferson will be the best wide receiver to ever put on the purple uniform. That's including him. That's coming from Randy Moss, arguably the GOAT. Randy Moss said that. Randy said that. So you look at Justin Jefferson and the body of work he has put in since he's been in the league. He's put himself in the conversation of having the best start of any wide receiver ever to play the game, UP Nation. He's already put himself in that position of being one of the best wide receivers to ever play this freaking game. And so now his legacy is starting to be threatened. And so people are talking about, JJ McCarthy, Justin Jefferson's body language was bad yesterday. He's giving up on plays. This is the first time we've ever seen that from Justin Jefferson. I told you it was coming. I told you it was coming. It's only if things continue the way they are continuing, it's only a matter of time before Jets is out of here. It's UP Nation. I'm rarely wrong about these things. If you go back and look at some of my preseason podcasts, man, I've hit on everything from Aaron Rodgers to what JJ McCarthy was going to look like to Jets being frustrated. Man, and listen, it doesn't have a whole lot to do with JJ McCarthy, but you've got to understand, man, Jets has been here for a while now. And he's had a spattering of different quarterbacks from Kirk Cousins to Nick Mullins to Sam Darnold to the Pastronaut to, you can name it now JJ McCarthy. So he's never really had that stability. I guess you can look at Kirk Cousins and say kinda. He's never really had that stability at quarterback, man. That's frustrating. And he always plays the great teammate card. He tries, even when he's frustrated internally. But now his legacy is being threatened. His legacy is being, there is a chance, UP Nation, imagine this. There is a chance that JJ McCarthy, not JJ McCarthy, but Jets, the JJs and the JJs, man, confuse me, man. We used to call Jets JJ. Now, Jets may not be. There is a chance that Jets may not be even a 1,000-yard receiver this year. There is a chance. Think about that. Think about that, UP Nation. Let that sink in. Jets, Justin Jefferson, there is a chance, there is a shot that he may not even get 1,000 yards. The way things are going, there may be a shot where he may not even get that. Like, I think he may squeak and get it. He may cross the finish line barely and get it the way things are going, the way the play calling is. But it has never been on the table, barring injury, that Justin Jefferson wouldn't reach 1,000 yards. Before you say, Coach, that's crazy, man. He's going to get his 1,000 yards. I'm just saying that it's on the table. He's only got 2 touchdowns. This has been the lack of a gritty season. Seasons before, oh, man, there was gritties all over the place. Yeah, people in the stands doing the gritty, little kids doing the gritty. Justin Jefferson, couple of touchdowns, a game here and there doing the gritty. This has been a gritty-less season. You think that's not getting to Justin Jefferson? And again, it's not about JJ McCarthy, man, but when you're around this every day and you understand the game, you're on Wednesday and Thursday's install. I believe they have their install days on either Wednesday and Thursday. You're around the installation and the game plan from week to week, and you start to understand schemes, and you're in that wide receiver room, you're in the offensive room, and you could see the schemes really have nothing to do with you. They really have nothing to do with you. If you look at a guy like Joe Flacco when he went to the Cincinnati Bengals, hey, man, Jamar Chase, they were saying, hey, we suck, but we're going to get Jamar Chase the ball 12 to 13 times a game. You don't see that sense of urgency from the Minnesota Vikings. So you're talking about a wide receiver that is used to having a lot of production, not even being in rhythm in games. So him being a human being, he's going, and whether it's right or wrong, he's human. He starts to go into games like, well, I'm not going to get the ball. And that first overthrow just completely said, okay, here we go again. The lack of rhythm in games where he's not getting the ball. Okay, here we go again. And it's hard to sustain that. People are going to be like, well, he should. He's getting paid millions of dollars. He's got to come in with that focus. Man, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that things get to human beings. And Justin Jefferson, as great of a teammate as he is, he's not perfect. Emotionally, he's not perfect. He can be angered. He can be frustrated. Things can get to him. And we don't know the half. We don't know the half of what's going on behind the scenes in practice from week to week. We think we know, but we have no idea. And so a lot of this frustration carries over into the game. And for the first time, UP Nation, Skull Nation, Purple Gang, for the first time, it started to show on the field with Justin Jefferson. First time. And it was so evident that everybody saw it. First sign of trouble for the Minnesota Vikings and what's going on with Kevin O'Connell. And there is no light at the end of the tunnel. I use the word traumatized because that's what I believe Kevin O'Connell is. From his time in the NFL, it is why he will never relinquish. He's got a stranglehold on the play calling. He ain't never giving that up. He's got to see this thing. He's got to see this thing through. He's got to see this thing through. Man, this thing could be really ugly. And again, I think people that are evaluating JJ McCarthy, man, I think either you want to hate or you want to give him time. And I just feel like, man, I have to take JJ, unless JJ starts to look like trash, like I have to take him completely out of the equation because right now I really can't trust what I see from JJ McCarthy. I'm putting all the blame and the lack of grace on Kevin O'Connell because I can't trust. It happens all the time. I just can't trust that what I see from week to week, I don't know if from what I see from week to week puts JJ McCarthy for 4 quarters in a position to succeed under the philosophy and the regime of a Kevin O'Connell. I can't trust it. We see it all the time from quarterbacks who can't make it in one organization. All of a sudden they go somewhere else and they're looking pretty damn good, AKA Daniel Jones was with the Giants for the longest time, and they couldn't get what the Colts are getting out of Daniel Jones right now. That is an indictment on the organization. Again, you can even look at the whole Joe Flacco thing with the Cleveland Browns. As soon as he leaves Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns, he's throwing for 400 yards, couple of touchdowns a game. How does that work? How does that happen? So when you look at the Minnesota Vikings, man, these are the truths. And unless things change dramatically, and I'm not on board in thinking that that's going to happen, like this thing can potentially get worse. And the first red flag, UP Nation, the first red flag is kind of what everybody is talking about. Man, you start to lose Jets. You start to lose Justin Jefferson, the ultimate teammate, the face of the franchise. If you start to see him get frustrated, we got issues. Last thing that I want to talk about is, and I know I'm going in hard on Kevin O'Connell because frankly, he deserves it, man. Frankly, he deserves it. I didn't like yesterday in the press conference. I thought he threw JJ McCarthy under the bus. I thought he threw JJ McCarthy under the bus. Of course, the question was like, how come you got 8 false starts in a freaking game? How does that work? And the first thing that he brings up, because it deflects from discipline and coaching, like for me, those type of unfocused thing is a direct reflection of the head coach. It's a direct reflection of a head coach and the offensive line who can't focus. This has been a problem, the self-inflicted. This has been a problem for a while. KOC keeps promising to fix it. Hasn't been fixed yet. So that means in your locker room and on the practice field, you don't have the hammer. These dudes are not being rotated out when they make mistakes. So they are allowed to continue to have these self-inflicted things happen. But the Minnesota Vikings, when they want to keep things in-house, they keep things in-house, AKA the Harrison Smith injury. They did a really good job of keeping that thing in-house. Whenever there are things going on about, 2 quarterbacks, whether JJ McCarthy will play, whether he won't play, they did a pretty good job of keeping that thing in-house. Now all the false starts. See, if I was the coach of that team, the media doesn't really need to know what's going on with that or whose fault it was. And the first thing they come out and say that it was cadence. Well, here's my thing, man. JJ McCarthy's been running the same cadence since he's been in training camp, and he's been running the cadence all week long. So my question is, like, what changed during the game? What changed during the game? Well, now the cadence is a problem, something that you've heard for months now. Why did it become a problem all of a sudden this game? It takes the onus off of the offensive linemen who are probably coming back to the sideline belly aching about the cadence because they don't want to take any accountability for themselves like JJ did at the podium yesterday where he just came up and he ate it. He just said it's my fault. Where I know secretly he doesn't honestly believe that it was all his fault, but he is the leader of this team. He is the future franchise quarterback. So an attribute that I like to see is he comes up and he takes accountability for everybody else's mistakes, from the coach to the unfocused offensive line that we had. My fault. I take full responsibility for it. My fault. That was JJ McCarthy yesterday. You really didn't hear anybody else taking any accountability. From the coaching to getting these guys ready to play and focus to the offensive lineman saying, I was unfocused, I false started. See, here's the narrative that's missing. The guys that are accumulating all these false starts and all these lack of focus plays, see, these are the injured guys. These are the guys that are coming off of injuries. Darisaw, O'Neal, and they've got these big-ass defensive edge rush linemen, whatever you want to call them, trying to get the JJ, probably talking crap to him across the line. And they're worried about, oh, man, I got a bad knee, so I got to get out of my stance a little bit quicker. So instead of concentrating on what the cadence is, what the snap count is, they lose all focus because they have so much internal anxiety because of the injuries that they're coming off of, in terms of not losing their one-on-one battle with these defensive linemen, that they just lose focus on the things that are important, which is the cadence, hence the false starts. That's the real of it. That's the real of it. It didn't have nothing to do with JJ McCarthy's cadence. The cadence haven't changed. It's these dudes internally battling their injuries. Hell, we saw Christian Darrisaw pulls himself out of games every other game because of his knee soreness. So you know that he's worried about that. What do you think he's worried about when he goes up to the offensive line and he's got one of the best edge rushers in the league from game to game bearing down his throat? Same thing with O'Neal. What do you think he's thinking when he steps up to the line? These guys are worried about their injuries and how they can get out of those stances a little bit quicker, hence the false start, hence the lack of focus and what their minds are on. See, man, I'm just trying to hit you with the truth. I don't want to hear that it was the cadence from JJ McCarthy. I'm not trying to hear that from KOC. And shame on KOC for putting that out in the ether. Your young quarterback has enough to worry about more than taking the blame for your revamped, trenched offensive line that can't stay focused enough to hear the snap count at home. You gonna throw that on JJ McCarthy's shoulders as well? Well, you know, I don't know if it was the cadence to put that out in the ether. Shame on you. Shame on you, KOC. Shame on you, man. I never thought that I would get here with KOC, but man, like I've been a good, consistent teammate for KOC. I'm like Justin Jefferson right now. It takes a lot for me to get off the bandwagon on coaches. It takes a lot, but I'm starting to get tired of watching it. I'm a human being. UP Nation, I know you guys are getting tired of it. Skull Nation, Purple Gang, North, Purple Soda, Crim, Black Al Bundy. Are you guys getting tired of this? Purple Gang, Skull Mafia, are you guys getting tired of this? It's wearing thin, bro. It's wearing, this is getting tough. It's wearing, Sarah, you getting tired of this? Like it's wearing thin, bro. It's wearing thin. And honestly, UP Nation, Skull Nation, Purple Gang, I don't know if there is a quick light at the end of the tunnel. When people go through things, man, it drives who they are in the future. And I think Kevin O'Connell's whole experience as a quarterback in the NFL is integrating itself in his philosophy and his coaching, man. And you can see it every Sunday. And it's very unfortunate because the Minnesota Vikings fan base deserves a lot better. Man, we got a lot of weapons and it's just wasteful. It's just wasteful. But this has been Unconventional Playbook. Please hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, UP Nation, we will see ya when we see ya. Skol.